Yeah, I'm excited. We're going to be talking to one of my favorite adult content creators, Opa Ibby, better known as Luna, and we're going to bring her in now. She's here. And I hope this fan isn't too loud. It's just been really hot. Also, while we're waiting, grab a...
Hey!
I'm excited.
So nice to see you. Let me just adjust. I got my little new tripod here, so let's see.
Oh, nice.
Hi.
Nice. This is great. And as I was to say, get a drink, everyone. If people watching, get a drink, get a smoke. I got my little whiskey.
I have my water, and I got my pen. I am all good.
Nice. Welcome, Luna.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to be on.
Yes,
I love your whole setup. It's so colorful. It's so pretty.
Oh, thank you. That's my thing. That's my jam. Colors. Well, I knew you were gonna have a great background. You always have a great background.
Thank you. Quite the work in progress. The past almost 2 years now.
Wow, nice. So I should say Luna for everyone. Luna is an adult content creator and a cosplayer.
Hi, I'm Opie or Luna. You can call me either one. Some people just call me Opie. Whichever works. I respond to all of it. But yes, I've been making content for about 2 years, but consistently for a little over a year.
Wow. And so how did you get started?
I had a lot of people I knew in the industry. I actually had friends I'd grown up with in the industry.
Really?
Yes, they entered the industry when they turned 18. And when I got back in contact with them, some of them I rediscovered through Tumblr, or I met other girls through Tumblr. I would see that they were cam girls or they were models, whatever it was. And I was just always interested in it. And growing up, my favorite TV show was The Girls Next Door. It was filmed on the Playboy property, and it was all over the
Oh my God! Yes! I remember that. That was on like a E or something like that with the three girls who lived in the Playboy house. Yeah.
I would sit there and I was like, these girls are smarter than him. I was like, these girls have it. They have it. I'm like, they're doing all of their things that they need to do, and oh God, poor Kendra. Oh my God.
You guys don't know
Kendra.
This was a show about it was like a reality show documenting the girls who lived in the Playboy mansion.
Yes.
For a few years. It was actually a good show. I liked it.
I was obsessed. One, because Bridget made all of her clothes, and I wanted to do that. And two, because I saw when they would have the censored nude photo shoots, I was amazed. I would see all of this work put into making a background, a setup, costumes, everything, and I would see that it was you're creating a fantasy, and I was like, okay. I was a theater kid for most of my life, and I always loved set design. I loved costumes. I did that for a while, and I was.
So you were a theater kid.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I literally did vocal warm-ups before I came on today, so I was just still alive.
Really?
Still here. Yes.
That's awesome. So you said, okay, your friends were into it, you saw it, something you've always sort of been interested in, and then about when did you make your first video? Or did you do videos first, or did you do photos?
I did videos first. I tried to do Snapchat at first, and I didn't really. Yeah, it was it was a crazy thing to first try to do. I didn't really have an audience, and then I created my first video on. Oh my God, I still actually have it on my iPad. This was the first thing I ever filmed on, and I used my iPad and my camera. My phone camera in the shower, and I used a grippy.
You did a shower video first?
Yeah, I did. I attached my phone to the shower head so you could see from above, and then I sat my iPad at the open door on a chair, so you could have two angles, and I edited those together, and that was my first video. And then I got my DSLR out for the first time, and I filmed a girlfriend experience video, and I didn't know that would become my niche when I first did it.
Interesting. Hey y'all, hey everyone. For those who are joining, I'm talking to Luna, amazing adult content creator. Follow her.
Oh my God, my people.
Oh, are these your subs?
Yes, this is my mod, and then one of my members. Hello, you guys. Thank you so much for coming by.
This is awesome. Yeah. Wow. So you started out with a shower video. Did you ever have any issue? Like, what were you thinking when you were first recording it? And actually, like, I guess watching yourself back, were you like, whoa?
I've never been able to watch myself back. They used to record like our theater productions, and I would always just sit through them like this when we would watch them. I've never been able to watch myself back. And so when I first did, I was like, I don't know about this. Like, I wasn't sure. I was in a completely different headspace about myself physically. And I was like, I don't know. I guess we'll see if people like it. And my first month, I made like $8. And I was just like, but I was still shocked. I was like, there's 8. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I was in a job that I wasn't happy in, and I ended up leaving that job like about 2 months later, and then I jumped in.
Wow. So Snapchat, I know you have OnlyFans.
Yes.
And some other
OnlyFans. I have some clip sites, and then I stream on OnlyFans, and I'm moving over to stream on a couple of camping sites very soon. I'm very excited.
Nice. Oh my gosh. So it's been 2 years now, totally?
Almost, yeah. Just about. In October officially it'll be 2 years, and that is nuts.
And so how do you feel about it? Like, I feel like the biggest thing, I guess, people wonder is like morality, bringing morality into it. How do you feel about doing this work?
Honestly, I feel like my set of morals has grown because of this
really
line of work. Yes. And I feel like my morals have gone from cover yourself up, love yourself, to love yourself no matter what you're doing. Whether you are deciding to join and become a nun. I don't care if you're becoming a nun or if you are at the AVN Awards, you still deserve to love yourself. And those morals have definitely changed, and I've definitely become more open-minded, all sorts of those things. But I don't think that, as much as everyone would think, as much as friends, family, anyone would think, oh, take away your morals, I feel like it's connected to me to them more than I ever have been, if anything.
I think self-love is like a big thing.
Oh, it's
a big portion of it. Because it's amazing, the vastness of this sex work. And I should say sex work. And then so I feel like when you say sex work, people think like on the street.
Yes. They always think that.
And sex work could be it could be physical, it could be virtual, clap clap clap.
Virtual.
It could be on the phone. It could literally be it is such a wide ranging thing. So it's not and I guess I don't understand the shame wrapped around.
There is a huge amount of shame wrapped around the word itself of sex work, and I think it's because of the connotation and the stigma that is around the full service sex work industry and those who participate in it. And I think that people go, oh, it's dirty. And also the fact that we aren't very sex positive as a society.
Yeah.
It's dirty. It's a dirty thing. But there's so many aspects of sex work. There's so many people who encounter adult situations, items, people, everything, every single day. And we don't think about it.
On a regular basis. And it's weird that I could like sew clothes and sell that. I could like make food and sell food. I could do someone's hair. I mean, literally I could do anything that applies to like your human sense. But yes, when it comes to sex, somehow it's selling my soul. Or there's some sort of moral involved in like, my vagina. I guess I don't understand. I don't understand that.
I don't either. I used to understand it because the first time I ever met anybody who was doing sex work of any sort, being a cam girl specifically, I was like, do you guys know that she does this? Like, is that what does she do? And then when I feel like so much of it comes from not knowing. So much of it comes from not being aware of what that really is. Well, when you look at it, a cam girl could either be somebody who is, they have their interactive toy on, they are, very physically active, or it can be someone who has a puppet. Who
seriously
their puppet, who hangs out with you and very rarely strips. Like, I've seen the full gamut.
Girl.
And that's the first thing we have to get rid of, is that people think it's one thing. It's so many.
It's so much. You can be, I was talking to someone, I'm like, you could be folding your clothes in lingerie, and that could be the extent of your sex work. You could just take photos of your feet. It's
earlobes.
Earlobes. The other day I was like, oh, people are into like fucking belly buttons.
Yeah.
That's, there are whole solo vids of people just jamming dildos in their belly buttons.
There are whole solo vids.
It's like, it is just like so wide ranging. I think one of the things, I think maybe for like subs, and when I say subs, meaning like the people who subscribe to your followers, or just maybe not for subs. I guess in general, I feel like people don't understand how much of a business this is.
Oh my goodness.
And that this is a service you're providing, and it's not some like seedy, shady, like, I don't know thing. I guess it can be, definitely.
It can be, yeah. Depending on where it is or what privileges you have in your reach, it can like be a different level of comfort or, niceness across the board. And it's just, I feel like what I had to figure out was, this is good for me.
So wait,
for me.
How did you figure that out? How did you figure out your niche?
My niche took some time. I knew I immediately wanted to cosplay, and the first video I ever had more than one sale on was a cosplay video. I dressed up as Velma, and I really liked it. I had found a wig that I really loved to style, and I used my...
Not to interrupt, that's been a really popular cosplay. I've been seeing that around a lot.
It's my profile picture on Instagram right now. It's like my most recognizable. It's on all of my business cards, actually, that I took with me to AVN. All of it started there, and I didn't realize how far it would take me. And by Christmas time, I had, over 1,000 followers, and, I was very excited. And for Christmas, everything kind of just popped off around Christmas. I did costume after costume after video for around Christmas and Valentine's Day. And that's when I picked up a lot of my audience.
Wow. Wowsy. So is there anything that people expect from you that you're not going to, like, sexually, because of what you look like?
Oh, thanks, Zeus.
Yeah,
video has been approved.
Is there anything that people expect you to do?
Yeah, people expected me to do more like penetrative things, honestly. People expected me to be with toy more, and I'm like, hi, I don't do a lot of that. I actually have entered the industry very non-experienced in my personal life sexually. I haven't had very many partners. Wow. Like, I officially fully lost my virginity this year. Like, it took me a while to get my own sexuality. It took me a while. And because of that, I try to listen to myself more and say, hey, you don't have to do that if that's not your thing. You can do what you're into. And other people might be more into it because you're into it. And so it took me a while to figure out, how sexual do I want to be? How sexual can I be?
You were a virgin when you first started this.
I used to like really, like, I used to kind of point it out, and then I was like, you know what? I'm kind of like, don't look at me. I'm a virgin. And then it took me a really long time just to, to get to where I was, more comfortable with my sexuality so I could try new things. Because when you've tried some things, you've been intimate with people to a degree, but you haven't gone into, I guess, the deep end of your comfort zone yet, a lot is still kind of cut off for you. So it really became, it really, really, really changed. So it was good, though. It was a really good experience for me to learn, what are my boundaries?
Sexual boundaries. That's a lot that I feel like people don't know or people don't talk about. I feel bad that there's so much shame wrapped around what you like or what you're interested in sexually. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe more for guys, it just seems like something they can't really explore too much, or don't have the freedom to explore as much.
Right, yeah. And the thing is, sometimes if you're going to go out to a club for the first time, let's say you're going to a club, you're going to get all dressed up and you're ready to do it, but you kind of need your friend with you. You need somebody who's been to the club before, etc. I feel like that's what people in the industry can do for people who don't have that somebody to express themselves with or to explore a new feeling or interest with.
Ooh.
And I feel like because of all the...
Wait, go ahead.
I was just feeling, because of all the all the shame around your own sexual interest that there is in society, that having somebody, as in a sex worker of some sort, kind of guide you towards and through what it is you want, to show you something that you haven't been able to experience before, can be really helpful and healthy as well.
And I feel like, wouldn't it be nice to go into a professional place where you can get a sexual experience and then just go home?
Oh, exactly.
You know, or get, exactly. you know, some sort of love and care or something, and then just go about your day. You know, that'd be great. That'd be nice. Speaking of the AVN Awards, what was that like? What was that like? What was that experience like?
That was the craziest experience of my entire life. I have to be real with you. That was the absolute most insane experience of my life. I met so many people. I met so many fellow models, and then I met people I had looked at like, oh my God, it's you, like my whole life. And then they come, they look at me and they're like, oh, it's you. Hello. Let me
oh my
you good. And I'm like, of course, this was pre-corona, so everyone was very much like...
Were people nice?
Affectionate, yes. It was... I was told by people who were veterans of it, that this was a different kind of a year. The vibes were different in a good way. And it was very true. It was a very, very community-based experience, and I feel like the people I chose to surround myself with during that convention really just chef's kiss. It was great. And the red carpet and awards experience was definitely something.
Wow. That's so cool. I would love, I've been obsessed with the Pornhub Awards. They've been, I'm not sure if they're going to do it this year, or I don't know if that's canceled.
They'll probably do it virtually. Like, I know ESPYs and AVN are probably going to go virtual this year. So.
It's just been, just interesting. The whole experience looks amazing.
So entirely interesting. It was so strange because I would be sitting there, and then there would be a name or somebody that I had heard of from, people in school being like, oh, you heard of this porn star? And I was just sitting right in front of me. I'm like, I have AVN, and she's sitting right in front of me.
Wait, so who would be like your top, I guess, porn star or content creator?
One of my top content creators was Elise Loren. She was really huge in the camming industry. And I got to meet her. She's just so nice. It was so nice to finally get to, put an energy to a face and a name, and to get to hug and say hi and chat, all of it.
Yeah.
Really was so nice. And then there were I can't even tell you how many people I've looked up to. There are so many people in the industry who I've just really enjoyed. I got to meet Jalissa Elite, and she was really nice. I got to meet so many lovely people and really vibe with them for a minute, talk with them about work, all of it. And the craziest part was people knew who I was when I went, and I was like,
wow.
Are you positive? Are you absolutely positive?
I'd say, gosh, my favorite would be Asa Kira.
She was like...
You saw her?
I was like, everybody's so pretty. Well, I would compliment somebody at the AVN Awards, at the awards night, and somebody's in a gorgeous dress. And I looked at her and I go, you look so pretty. And she goes, oh, you look stunning too. I love this color on you. And then I go to my seat, and these awards started, and she's a presenter, and I'm like,
wow.
No.
I'd be too nervous to go up to Asa. I'd be like,
There were so many cam girls I've admired, so many models, so many, photographers I knew of. It was just kind of crazy. I was sitting in the red carpet line, and I was standing there with my friends, and then Angela White walks past me, and I'm like,
oh, wow.
And I think she was with some sort of a relative, somebody who had an incredible resemblance to her. She was with somebody, and I was like, oh my gosh, she looks so pretty. And they looked at me and I was just like, huh.
And she's the one that, she's tall. She's super tall. She's from Australia, right? Is that the one that's from Australia?
Yeah, I don't know how tall she is. I really can't remember. I just remember I felt about this tall in that moment. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
This was an amazing night. I'm trying to see if I have a picture of my red photo pictures on here somewhere, hiding. a bit of my photos, but that was probably one of the most fun experiences of my life. And being nominated alone was such.
Oh my gosh! What were you nominated for?
I was nominated for both two fan categories, for best cosplay and or favorite camming cosplayer, and then favorite BBW. I was up for both of those, and that was shocking. First of all, I actually, the awards themselves coming together are kind of why I was able to look at my mother and be like, "Hi, I'm fully in the adult industry."
Okay. So what?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Well, I want to ask you about that conversation, but I also want to. It seems like it's kind of like a lonely. It doesn't seem like a friendly industry. It seems like it's like if you figure it out, you figure it out, and if you don't, you don't, and that's just it. Like it doesn't seem as friendly. So I'm surprised that was your experience.
Like that. It definitely, and I was surprised too. I went into it with a lot of anxiety, a lot of trepidation. Like, are people going to be nice to me? Or, because especially because it was an MFC run event. Most of the girls there are from MFC, and MFC has them in special rooms or like a whole floor, or it's very much overrun with that. And it's intimidating, honestly, because you see a site that is very competitive, having most of the people who are there on that very competitive site. And you're like, oh God, are people going to be nice? Are people going to be cutthroat? All of it. But I made probably some of the most incredible friends that I've ever made in my entire life when I was at AVN.
Nice. That's awesome. That is awesome. I would love to attend one of those award shows one of these days. Mm-hmm. So you had what was that like talking to your mother about what you do?
She was suspicious. She's always been, not once I told her, but she's been suspicious since before I even started. When I was first thinking about it, she was like, don't become a cam girl. And I was like,
wait, why did she say that? Why did she say that?
She was just like, she didn't really know very much about the industry. And as much as I tried to explain it to her, she was like, very much like, I don't know. It doesn't seem very safe. It's just all of this. She was worried about me more than anything, and worried about how I do, worried about, are people going to be kind to you, just as any other parent would. But she was very concerned about me doing it ever. And she would be like, I have this feeling like you're going to start doing this. And I was like, no, never. Like, meanwhile, I'm polishing my lens from getting coconut oil all over it. No, I would never. Not fun.
And so what does she think now?
Well, she had always had a hunch. And what I told her, I was like, I'm a cosplayer, but I make content for adults. And I take photos, or I make, and she kind of caught on probably right before AVN Awards. She had definitely figured it out and knew. And I just hadn't had the talk with her. And I just found out I gotten nominated. I was freaking out. I'm sitting in my room getting text upon text from all of my friends and just freaking out. And I called my mom in my room and I was like, hey, so let's chat. I work in the adult industry. You've had an idea. Hi, Cody. That's my other mod just came in. And I was like, I've been in the adult industry. That I kind of do things that are more on the lewd side. I have lingerie, all this other stuff. And I told her what I do. And she was like, yeah, I figured. And I said, okay, so do you know the AVN Awards? And she's like, yes, you've been talking about the AVN for literally years. For years, you've been talking about it. And I'm like, okay, so I'm nominated for 2 of them, and I really want to go. And she was like, very excited for me. She was like, oh my, it gave her, I don't know, I feel like having some validity of, hey, my work has been appreciated. My work is at a level that other people will acknowledge it, and I am serious about doing this. I'm committed to doing this safely and as a business. I think that and along with the way that she could see me change in the past about a year of doing it, I think that those 2 things really assisted in her just going, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. She went, so you're nominated for 2 of these. And I showed her videos of the red carpet and videos of people walking through the whole thing, and she knew there'd be boobs and everything. She knew. And so she's like, this looks like it'll be fun. And so she immediately helped me shop for a dress, looked and helped me look for everything, helped me to pack all of my filming equipment without going over the weight requirement, and helped me get to the airport, kept with me on the phone the whole time I was getting checked in. the whole experience I shared with her. And so I feel like as an introductory experience for her to be seeing over my shoulder, it was really nice because of course, everybody wants pictures of their kid all dressed up. She was so, when I tell you, she was so thrilled when I sent her the picture of me in a dress sitting with my friend. And she was
nice too. I saw that.
Hey. It was
in your purple dress.
This is my dress. This was the best. And she was, I cannot tell you how excited she was for me to see. She was like, "You look glamorous." I'm in the Uber, like talking to her. You look so nice. And she's like, "Absolutely, do your thing. Do you need furniture moved for this? Your shipment of costumes came." She like, the other day, what was it? I needed to get, I don't know, there was a mark on something that I needed to use. And she got it off and she was like, "There, and nobody can tell. Do your thing." She's just super proud of me. And she's like, "I love to see that you are noticing yourself grow both as a person and a business." And that was like it. I was like, that is all I need to hear.
Awesome.
And so it's been a lot of blossoming for both her and I, but she is so pleased with what I have been able to do for myself, both mentally and in a, career sense with this job, which is like the best feeling.
Wow, that is awesome to have that support, because I know not everyone has that.
I feel very blessed that she does indeed. I mean, we've definitely had it's not been easy having our relationship grow to this point. It's been a lot of work on both of our parts, which I'm really proud of. And I think that I'm very, very blessed to have her support.
Yeah. Wow, that is amazing. Can I ask?
Yes.
Yeah, what's something, let me ask, what's the craziest custom someone's asked for? And custom video, for those, meaning just like, it's a regular thing in the industry for people to ask models for custom videos, meaning they want specific things done. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, at first I was like, I don't know, like I've done some weird things. I've done the weirdest custom I've ever made. Not that it wasn't fun, because I had so much fun making this. I was giggling the whole time. Often all I have all the raw files from it, and I'm just like laughing at myself. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. But I was just like, okay, I kind of get it. I got myself a giant tan sheet, and I pinned it up from one side of my wall to the other side, so it looked like just a tan thing. And I cut a hole in it, and I had to drown in quicksand. Yeah, totally clothed, completely clothed.
Oh,
I was
wow.
Just like, all right, I'm flexible.
So
I can go to Target, get a sheet.
And then just like...
You cut a little slit in it, and then you slide up through the slit, and you can...
Oh,
and depending on where you place it, like I had to place the sheet low, high, higher, and then highest. I had to place it 4 different times.
Oh my God.
When I tell you, I had set it up in the most rinky-dink way, but it worked. It worked perfectly. And I was just like, all right. I mean, this was more mentally challenging than it was physically challenging. And I'm like,
oh, okay.
I honestly, I figured out how to put this up. But it was the Sahara right there.
Yeah.
Now in hindsight, I would have gotten like, I don't know, some swamp grass or something to come with it, add a little, but I ended up adding like bubbling noises. I found I was like royalty free bubbling quicksand noise. And I found it and I added it to it, and best.
Quick sound, drowning in quicksand, fully clothed.
Yeah. I was like,
do you ever think about people jerking off to you? Is that something you like, or do you even think about, or you're like, eh?
I think about it, but then also sometimes I'm so focused on work I don't. I'll make a video sometimes and I'll be like, okay, this is for people's consumption. I really hope they like it. And then I put it out, and then someone will review it, and then I go, oh, somebody's jerking off to me. Oh my gosh. Other times if I'm on live, usually my fans are like very talkative in my chat, and they'll tell me, and I'm like, oh, in that moment I'm directly connected to the fact that people are getting off to me. And I get off on that in those times for sure. It's never something that makes me feel uncomfortable, like unless someone sends me a random DM and they're like, do you take tributes on your photos? And I'm like, no, I do not.
Really?
No. Yeah.
Some people
want to like leave a little gift on a photo of me, and then send me a picture of it, and I'm like, what does that do?
That seems to be I've seen that. Yeah, it's a big thing. Seems like that seems to be a big thing. There are people who like. Well, so sometimes I just watch Pornhub like I watch like YouTube, and sometimes I just click through it. I'm just like amazed at and not everybody watches Pornhub. Some people have moved on from Pornhub and watched other stuff, but like I've seen cum tributes to like Lindsay Lohan and like just like random stuff.
Like Danny DeVito. At one point, I was like, there was like on Reddit or something. I was like, you know what? Get your judge, but I hope he's okay about this. Like,
how do you handle? You're so nice and you're so welcoming.
Oh, thank you.
How do you handle weirdos? Or not weirdos? Not weirdos. How do you handle people who are rude?
When they're rude, I will. If they're being rude in my chat, like let's say I'm camming, and it's just a random dude and he's rude, he just gets muted. Or he'll get banned or whatever it is quietly if it's something there. If someone's bothering me on Twitter, usually, you know, their comment gets hidden or they get blocked. Only when it, like the other day I had somebody go through and comment nasty things on like 20 of my posts. And I was like, not happy. So I went through and I hid them on each of my posts. And I sent it like to the appropriate people who I realized that he came from. He comes from other models' pages. And I just addressed it publicly. I was like, if you have the time to come and do this on my page, you have too much time on your hands.
Too much.
I tried to be like as diplomatic about it as I possibly could. And I also said, like, models, it is important to address your fans to let them know that this behavior isn't okay if you don't want this behavior happening. Because they find other models through you, and I addressed that.
That's really shitty.
Yeah, it's just like part of it. But I was also just like, as much as people always say, like, oh yeah, just ignore them and just don't let them ruin your day. If it does hurt your feelings, it's okay to take a step back.
Yeah.
Processing those feelings doesn't mean you're letting it ruin your day. So I was just like, okay. But when I'm dealing with it on a person-to-person basis, if someone is being rude to me in my messages, I'm just like, hey, I really don't appreciate the way that you're, speaking to me. If you want to apologize, this is, we can definitely backtrack on that. Like people usually get some sort of an opportunity to right their behavior, whether or not they will no longer be able to contact me afterwards. I usually try to give them a chance after that. It's like,
wow, you give them a chance.
I try to give people a chance to apologize because at the end of the day, I'll feel better. And I know they would feel better rather than just like if they, I don't know, whether they're blurting something out, they're saying something, they're having an off day. Like, I realize that these are also people who might have a harder time going through those social interactions than I do.
Oh, and okay. Yeah. That is such a good point. I feel like you can, in this industry, maybe you can come across that a lot of maybe people who have a harder time making those social connections in real life. And so sometimes they don't, they just don't know how to like communicate.
Right. Sometimes I get somebody who like their knee-jerk reaction will be to say something really unkind. And then they're like, I do this all the time. Like I always do this and I always freak out like this. Like you're going to be mad at me. And I'm like, okay, so it sounds like you're having like an issue.
Yeah.
I'm not their therapist, but I'm going to sit there and address, hey, I understand it's the issue. You still can't act this way towards me. But if you are genuinely sorry, I'm going to give you that time to be sorry.
It's interesting. I think that, and maybe this is like completely wrong. I think, so there was I should have wrote the date down. There was a sex worker march in New York a few
I remember seeing that
weeks ago. And I'm like, wow, the fact that there could be like a march, I'm like, wow, more people are talking about sex work. OnlyFans has become this like,
it's become a word of like just a household word.
Yes, in the zeitgeist they call it, or whatever that is. If that isn't that right? And a lot more people are doing it, and a lot more people are watching porn because they're at home, just kind of like not doing anything.
I know, people are all pent up, everything.
Yeah, I feel like. Do you think that people are more understanding of sex work now, a little bit more, or because I'm gonna keep talking only because I feel like sometimes with sex work, I think sometimes people get off on or betting on this humiliation factor. They're betting on that. And when they don't get that, or they don't understand that that's not necessarily, that doesn't have to be the exchange, because if I'm doing the sex work, I'm choosing to do this. I'm not under duress. Like, I'm choosing, this is a business and this is a service, dude. Like, so you getting off on being disrespectful, like, I feel bad for you, because that's not, it's a weird thing. Anyway, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I feel like it every year. It's like we're trying to fill up this vial of understanding of sex workers, sex work, the industry, all of it from general public. And I feel like a little gets added every year, every month, every time there's a movement, every once in a while. It's a very slow growth, but it happens. And I feel like in certain pockets, it depends on what kind of information people are willing to expose themselves to. Sometimes someone would say, oh, there's a life story and like the real parts of being a sex worker. I'm not going to read that. They're disgusting. And then they stay in that stigma. And whether or not they choose to take the leap into that information is up to them. And so have I seen more people choosing to take that leap? Yes. Yeah. I think that it's like huge and like everything's different. No, but do I think that we have more of a chance of having more people hear us because of this? Absolutely. Yeah. So I think that it comes with whether or not they are willing to learn about it. Yeah. What has surprised you most about, like, doing this for a couple of years now? What has surprised you most about people? What do you think you? I'm surprised of how like loyal people can be, but also with how possessive people can be sometimes. Yes. People's participation in paying a sex worker for a service, but not understanding that it is a sex worker and a service. That's one thing that I've really, because if you go to a car dealership, and there's somebody who comes, he buys a car every year, and it's the same brand of car, and he has, you would expect him to understand and know the car. But if he's sitting there and he's like, I only ever get driven around in this thing, I don't know what all this stuff is, you're kind of like, what? It's very confusing. So sometimes people who are consistent customers don't understand that boundary. Mm-hmm. And it's really important to, I guess I've learned that in my everyday speech, the way I speak to my fans, the way I speak to subscribers every single day, I can help to define what that line is over and over and over. Interesting. Do you ever, but that doesn't like frustrate you? To redefine that line, I feel like because I feel like in the last couple of years, I've noticed that everybody has like waves of regulars. There's sometimes people who will stay a really long time and tip a little bit, or people who tip a lot and then they disappear. All of it. I feel like it's really important as you grow as a creator to reintroduce that boundary. Not that it necessarily is your responsibility entirely for people to respect your boundaries, but that it is important for you to put your comfort levels out there for the people who will listen to it, because that will train them. That will get them in the loop. What research did you do? Well, I guess, I was going to ask, what research did you do before you decided to do this? Because you're like, you're really on top of your shit, man. Like, you know what I mean? Your prices are set great. Like, your background looks good. The quality of your videos is great. Like, you have taken steps to protect yourself digitally, which is like, I don't think that's probably like a misstep of a lot of new sex workers. Yes. So what research did you do before you started? I learned a lot from not only the people who got me into the industry, but from watching not necessarily the mistakes, but the happenings of the industry as I was in it. Seeing somebody say, hey, this person got my information via this and this and this, or this and this and this. Hi, love adipose. I saw kind of the do's and don'ts I was able to witness, and I was able to witness them in a time where I could still gather my resources and, dot all my I's and cross my T's. I felt like I had the information that I needed from the community at that time. And I can't tell you that I can't tell everybody that you're going to have that information right away, because I didn't understand certain things, or certain things that I didn't prepare myself for, or I wasn't sure about, or I didn't have enough information about. Like, at first I didn't know that when you were camming, bots will oftentimes record you, and you'll end up on whatever it is. .com.
Wait, what? Repeat that. So bots will record you?
Yeah, if you're on like one of the major cam sites specifically, or couple of, there are just some bots that will automatically record you. And I wasn't happy about that at first. And now I've learned through, 2 years, I know how to use OBS. So no matter where my stream ends up, I have a big border around me. It has my website right here. It has my @ name right here. It has all of this and a DMCA, so it can help take it down. But I wasn't aware of that when I first started. And when I would mention it to other models, they were like, oh yeah, that happens. And I was like, but what do I do? And so there were some things I really had to figure out myself, and some things that I really didn't have help on, but there were other things that I was able to find. Like if we think about like Cam Model Plaza as a resource that a lot of people had, and a lot of it.
Cam Model Plaza?
Mm-hmm. And I think there's another website, I cannot think of it right now. Cam Model Startup is the other one. Those are both.
Scrub sites and screen record cams. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they do. He's absolutely right.
Because I have seen, I have seen some people, what they'll do is like, record the computer with their phone and then post that up. And so there'll be people who create their own sites from pirated like videos of other models, and they'll get a lot of money. I don't know. Will they? I don't know. They do.
Well, I don't know. It's like sometimes they sell them, sometimes they can, but sometimes if they're selling them rather than streaming them for views, it can. I guess sometimes it can hit them harder if they're trying to knowingly sell something. If somebody were to take it to like claims or to court of some sort, they would have more against them. But also, when they upload them, they do run the risk of getting hit with that DMCA takedown, all of those different things. So it does depend.
That's really cool. DAC, what'd you say?
DMCA, which is Digital Millennial Copyright Act. You'll see the DMCA logo in a lot of people's streams, like up in the corner, in the bottom. In my stream, I have a little text for it, and in my videos. And it's just reminding people that when you create content, it's online, that it is the person who owns it. I mean, providing you're not using copyrighted music, copyrighted graphics, all of that other stuff. If you're creating content, it belongs to you. And so I just use it. I mean, it applies to videos that don't have the little thing in the bottom, but I just use a visual reminder. So I'm just like,
yeah, see right here.
Stupid. That's your fault. It's a really good thing to have in your back pocket.
Wow. I was going to say, okay, so one of the things kind of like been preparing for this, I've been reading, I've known a lot for a long time. Sex work has been at like the forefront of tech, I feel like, where, so I was reading this Wired article, and they said that when video cassettes, those video VHSs first came out, do you know that 75% was porn?
Yeah.
75%. So they were saying that, article was saying that with every tech innovation, it's always been innovation, porn, and then the outrage that follows it. With everything that we've done.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right? So it's like, it's just, it's always, sexuality is always like going to be a big part of our, I think, society as humans.
Yeah, and how things change, the way that the market's going to change. Right. I mean, sites like subscription sites like OnlyFans, when we couldn't necessarily use something like Patreon for adult content, or we couldn't use Gumroad for adult photo sets, something else came up, and it was like social media. And it was like, and there are other sites now coming up for both safe for work creators and non-safe for work creators that are following in its footsteps. It really does set the curve in so many ways. And I can't like for sure with all the knowledge I have say that, oh yes, we change everything. But like when webcams came about, webcam modeling came about very soon after. And
we did because they were saying that even the way that ads are put up on sites, that was porn. The banner ads, that was from porn. Pop-ups. Yeah, the pop-ups, all that stuff was from porn. And so it's just been, I don't know, with everything, and it's always going to be sex. Mm-hmm. Sex sells.
That's always.
What is next for Luna? Like what lanes would you want to get into that you haven't as far as sex work?
I'm going to kind of start working on showing people how to design their spaces for cam work specifically.
Yes.
I realized that there isn't a lot of that information out there. There aren't a lot of videos, tips, any of it.
No.
And I know a lot of people ask me a lot of questions about my space, and I say, I can answer that. I can do that. And I realized I learned these things from here. I learned these things from working as a marketing person. I learned these things. And
okay. Speaking of marketing, I'm going to hit the... Okay. Bye. Thanks for tuning in. Bye. One of the things... Okay. Branding and marketing is super important if you're going to do this, because you have to learn how to brand yourself, edit, find the best light, all that stuff.
Yeah.
What is going to be your niche? Like, who are going to be the people that you market yourself to? That's a big part of it that I feel like people don't realize. You spend a lot of time. Well, I feel like creating advertisements and stuff, and like trying to get the subs, trying to get those people,
getting people following you, and being able to, I don't know, have people pay attention to go, oh, who is that? I'm gonna go click on their profile and follow them.
Yeah,
that's half the fight.
Yeah. And lastly, what tips would you have for anybody who wants to be in this industry, male, female? What tips?
Anywhere in between. Everybody, no matter who you are or what you decide to do in the sex work industry, please do your research. Do your research, and you might find that there's a deal breaker in it for you. You might find that you have to take extra precautions yourself in the industry. What do you want to fill that space? So really look into it. And if you're going to try camming, go and turn the little shuffle button on a campsite and let it go through as many models as you can see. Try to get as much information. What are people doing? What are people trying? What is a basic thing I can start with? That is the most important thing, is just getting your research and learning about not only the industry, but what is going on right now in the industry. And I also think it's really important to keep yourself up to date. It's important to keep yourself, you need to have other people around you at some point, whether that is you seek out, a retweet group, something, other people around you who can express to you, what's going on in the industry and that you can talk to. Because if you're sitting there and you're not sure what's going on or what you should do, or this site's having this happen, and you have no one to talk to about it, it's like, what do I do here? It kind of leaves you with nowhere to go. But if you say, hey, I talked to my friend about this, and then this is the move, and I should do this, and then I should back up these files, it helps a lot. Wow. So as much research as you can do, and then make yourself a part of the community through not only your work, but your presence, and be nice to people. That's my other thing. Be nice to people. Being nice to people has gotten me so much further than anything else I could have done. Yeah. And sometimes it's just like, hey, I'm always here if you need a shoulder to cry on. That can open a door.
Yeah. What puts you in the mood?
In the mood to work? My fans. I talk to them, whether it's in my Discord, whether it's in my Snapchat, whatever it is. My fans make me so happy. Sometimes if I feel really bad, I go and I try to go to my mountain of plushies and I go, how many of these were gifts? And I go and I grab all of them and I go, oh, this person got me this, but this person thought of me, and this person thought of me. And it's really important for me to remind myself that there are people out there who like me, whether the little voice in my head is like, you don't look too good in this shirt, it's a little tight on the side. And I'm like, they don't care. They like that. That's the whole point. There are other people out there looking at you and enjoying you for you. And that is the most important thing. I have my fans' names up above my bed right now. I'm doing a club thing. They get their name written on a little butterfly. And just walking in, in my room, I see my fans' names. And I know that, they love me. And it's very important to keep your open communication with them. I feel like for me, having a Discord and then having a Snapchat that I try to message my members of my sites on as much as I can, all of that, keeping communication open. That way they know you're online. That way they know you're doing this. They know you're going to post. They know you're taking photos. They know this. I try to send my members each a personal Snapchat. If I'm all dressed up, I'm like, hey, I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, and I'm going to order myself some noodles later. What are you up to? Just keep that communication open. Keep talking, because not only will you receive, more sense of, okay, these people are here for me, but these are, a lot of the time, these people are fucking fantastic. These people are great. So much of the time, like, if I'm feeling like self-doubt, my fans would be like, okay, well, you're feeling self-doubt today. Go take a day off. Go walk by the water. Go enjoy. Go do this. Go do that. In my darkest times, my fans have been there for me, and they've done something for me, whether that's, oh, here's a tip, go get yourself dinner, or, hey, do you need an ear, or do you want me to manage your Discord for you? Whatever it is, they have been there for me. And it's really important to remember that in the mess of noise that can just sometimes be the industry and other people and people essentially eating each other, you have to remember that there are the people who are getting it. Just like if you're making like felted teddy bears, at the end of the day, no matter how crazy the felted teddy bear industry is, the person who is receiving that teddy bear is excited, and they see you as that person who creates something that they love. So it's important to remember to connect yourself to, not in a way of like pressure, but to the image your fans have of you, because they adore you. They think you're wonderful, and you need to think that of yourself when you're working. So my fans keep me going 100%.
Wow.
100%.
That is awesome. This was awesome. This is something I've been wanting to do for a minute. I feel like I've been tiptoeing around it. I want to keep talking to adult content creators, sex workers of all kinds, and just to remove the stigma and the shame. It's really not, you know what I mean?
At the end of the day, sex work is about sex positivity. At the end of the day.
Yes. Before we go, does anybody have any questions for Luna? Do you have any personal questions you would like to ask her that you've always wanted to? Type it in the comments. But yeah, I want to keep this going. I want to talk to some therapists too, some sex therapists, some. You know what I really love? I want to know the relationship between current events and the porn that we watch. That's what I would love to know.
That is a very interesting conversation to be had. Oh my goodness.
If anybody has any connection to like anybody written any papers or anything, nope, just saying hello and you're awesome.
Oh, you're awesome, Ash. Oh my goodness. What a wonderful, wonderul cosplayer. Lovely. Yeah. Amazing.
Ash Cosplays, go follow Ash Cosplays. But yeah, this was great again. Thank you for talking to me. And where can people follow you? Where can people
follow me on Instagram? All of my social media is just Oppai Baby, OPPAIBBY. That's me. And oppaibaby.com. That's where all the good stuff is. You'll be seeing me around. You probably will. I'm gonna get on YouTube at some point and do all the good stuff.
You'd be freaking awesome. You'd be like freaking awesome at it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm a fan.
Thank you. I'm a fan of you. I'm definitely a fan of you.
Thank you. And tune into the randomconversations.net. Tune into this. I'm going to get this recorded for the podcast eventually, and then it's well worth following this gal. Yes. For sure.
Rudy, you're the best.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
I will be starting a YouTube. Go to Random Conversations with Elizabeth on YouTube. Follow me, I need some subscribers.
Yes.
And yeah, if you know anyone who would be awesome to talk to, send them my way.
I will.
And thanks, Luna.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. And okay, so I'm gonna end this, and you guys have a good night. Have a good night.
Have a good night, you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Yay, that was awesome. Thanks again, guys. Follow the page, follow everything. Have a great night, and I hope you enjoy this conversation.